Hey there, Internet. I'm Annie.
I'm Kit.
And I'm Mac.
And this is the JEM Jam. We're doing episode-by-episode recap of the 1980s cartoon Gem of the Holograms because both it and the comic are truly infinite. It is JEM Infinite. We're on the tail end here. It's the penultimate one. I don't know what the numbers are anymore.
Technically part 3 for the Holograms, part 5 overall.
It's Gem of the Holograms, Infinite number 3, Gem Infinite Part 5. We have someone in our comments section on YouTube right now completely confused over the numbering of this. This is why event comics are horrible.
The important thing is that Tech Rat's in it.
He's so handsome. Our son's so handsome.
He's our good boy.
So this is our penultimate issue for the Infinite crossover. We have one more after this, and that's going to be a Misfits book. So this is the last Gem of the Holograms book in this event.
There's something very satisfying about how Gem started this and now the Misfits get to finish it.
All right, guys, so where are we at in this nightmare?
Good question. I love how the story so far, Paige has completely given up on trying to explain the premise to you and just tells you what happened the last couple of issues, which leads to some really, really great phrases like, inside the walls, Gem and the Holograms were reunited with their alternate reality dad, Emmett Benton, and learned that Gem Corp had killed the real Gem and the Holograms and used Synergy to replace it with holograms they could control. If somebody has just picked this issue up and not read anything else before it, that sentence is it is a dial tone. I love this comic.
So yeah, we're all in an alternate reality universe where Gem Corp controls everything, and there is a wall that keeps the 1%ers in and the 99% out.
And the Misfits went over the wall and found some cyberpunk lesbians.
And it was very, very good. Also, apparently the whole reason this whole thing happened is because Pizzazz told on the holograms.
So it's all Pizzazz's fault now.
Then they got a message from Jerica saying that, look, we have a plan, but we need you guys back here within the wall to carry out this plan.
And that's where we left off.
This is Jen Hickman on interiors here, doing the art and also the lyrics lettering, and Sarah Stern is doing colors.
We start with the Holograms and Emmett all waiting on the Misfits to get back.
Sorry, who?
Sorry, Cave Starlight.
Oh, okay. All right, gotcha.
I love that there's just a clock on the table that says late in huge letters.
I also think that down at the bottom, that might say PM, so the time is late PM.
Shayna doesn't think that Pizzazz is going to show up at all, and Pizzazz immediately proves her wrong because Pizzazz is incapable of not making a dramatic entrance.
Pizzazz marches in, it says, I made a promise and I always keep my promise. Even the dumb ones.
By the way, I've also got you guys a present, I guess.
And she brings in 2 hooded and cloaked figures.
And the hooded and cloaked figures remove their hoods and reveal Kimber and Stormer alternate universe.
With the robot arm and everything.
So alternate universe Cave Starlight is delighted that one of his actual daughters is still alive.
So he embraces Kimber, and then he's like, Stormer, get in here, sweetheart, and calls them both his beautiful girls.
Oh, and they're crying.
Meanwhile, our universe, Kimber and Stormer, are crying, and Kimber's like, I thought I was out. Turns out, nope, not out of tears.
For the love of God, lean forward. That eyeliner cost $20.
And Pizzazz, who has had no strong father figure in her entire life, cannot handle this, and when Cave Starlight's like, thank you so much for bringing them back to me, she's just like, you're welcome. Anyway, Pizzazz is here. Let me just be mean to people.
I've already reunited long-lost loved ones. What have you even done today?
Oh yeah, Tech Rat, the guy that helped us get across. He says you owe him double now since we brought 2 more people over with us. And Tech Rat's like, our son, our beautiful son, is like, oh god, that's gonna wipe me out.
Our beautiful son.
And then Pizzazz snaps back over to Jerica. Are you ever going to start talking? And Jerica's like, could you just try to be nice and get along? And Pizzazz is like, I am.
Everybody else pops in Scooby-Doo style to be like, she is literally trying her hardest. This is the best she gets.
For real. Co-signed.
Blaze hasn't even been here that long and she understands.
So Jerica starts to fill them in on the silica problem. Pizzazz is like, wait, back up. Silica was your fault again.
I love how, as far as Pizzazz is concerned, all of Earth's problems, all of multiple Earth's problems can be tracked back to Gem and the Holograms.
I just really like that Blaze is the one that actually wants to be like, okay, was this on purpose?
Please don't tell us that you want to deliberately sick this thing on everybody, because I thought you were the good guys. Jerica has the great line of the last thing this world needs is more mind control.
They're like, we need to be on site to get into the system. And so we go to on site at Gem Corp, where there's a pop-up concert tonight, so they're assembling a stage.
Oh god, and Eric with his horrible hologram douchebag sunglasses.
They're so good. And then he Gendo fingers. Next week we go live with the big Gem story to all the big gossip outlets.
At least it's the big Gem story, which I'm assuming is the Gem's dead story.
That could permanently damage the brand and everything.
And Eric dismisses her and tells her it's above her pay grade.
And she says, thank you. Oh, she's so defeated. This is the worst.
She is so much better than this.
She's so much better than everyone.
And as she leaves, Eric turns to Synergy and they're like, have you been monitoring her? There's nothing suspicious, but she's also very smart and unlikely to make an obvious mistake, says Synergy.
And Eric says that he wants to deal with her, which, yikes.
So, you remember that weird hologram door?
With the room full of darkness behind it.
And someone just hanging out in a dark closet? We find out who that is. As Eric Raymond says, yes, well, it wasn't easy. But by this time next week, the world will be looking much less JEM and much more pizzazz.
I should have known. There's only one person in the entire JEM multiverse who would be both willing and enthusiastic to just sit in a room full of darkness in somebody else's office solely so that he could have ominous conversations with them. There's only one person in the JEM multiverse this extra.
Speaking of extra, can we just talk about alternate universe Pizzazz's outfit?
I love this outfit. I love those shoes.
She's got hologram skull earrings.
She's got a Judge Doom spiked pauldron.
Just the one.
Her shoes are literally covered with spikes. She's got a spike heel, and then they've got spikes coming up. And literally, I keep saying it, they look like something out of Alexander McQueen's Fall season.
This is incredible.
There's just so much.
Meanwhile, backstage at the Gem of the Holograms pop-up show, it's Rio.
Rio whacks a dude over the head with a microphone stand.
And because this is also a good Rio, he's immediately like, jeez, I hope he's alright.
And then, of course, Jetta's like, don't flatter yourself, Rio, you're not that strong. I realized that there was probably a lot that had to be cut from this arc, because there's a lot that has to be cut from every arc when you're writing comics, but I would have really liked the scene where Jerrica explains to Rio that she's not actually his Jerrica.
I feel like that maybe would have been too heartbreaking. Jerrica says, thanks for helping us get in, Rio, and they kind of reference this conversation that happened off screen, and he's like, thanks for telling me you're not actually Jerrica.
Quick question in this long group here, where's Pizzazz?
I don't actually know. She's there later, but she's not in the group shots. Weird.
When you're juggling 12 people. And Jerrica mentions to alternate universe Rio that, they kind of broke up a little back in her world. And Rio just comforts her and says, he'll come back to you.
Now we have Pizzazz.
Hello, Jerrica. Yes, hi, this is your plan. Can you please get your head in the game already?
Jerrica and Rio are gazing into each other's eyes, and we just have Pizzazz right in the middle. A very, very tiny, angry third wheel.
After he leaves, Jerrica's like, are you happy now?
No, never.
You said it, not me. So in the control room that they've got set up here, Cave Starlight and Tech Rat are hacking the hologram.
That's our son. And Aja is explaining it to everybody else.
And then we get hours later.
Oh my god, that's it! You've got it! Does Tech Rat worship a god?
Tech Rat would probably acknowledge the possibility of a god, but definitely does not respect him.
Everyone, by the way, is just bored out of their frickin' minds aside from these two science nerds.
I love how Roxy has ripped the sleeves off of her coveralls.
Cave Starlight says we're ready for phase 2, but we don't have control. And Tech Rat says we may never have control of the Silica program.
But if we can get Silica and Synergy to communicate, we might really have something? But they can deactivate the show program, which means that the fake holograms don't go on.
All right, ladies, you know what to do. And then Roxy in the background goes, Jetta, I wasn't listening when they said the plan.
And Jetta, who is a wonderful best friend, is like, shh, I'll tell you.
God, I love them so much.
And then we have this really interesting 2-page spread here that is somewhere inside Synergy. I would imagine this is probably a scene that would have lasted a lot longer originally, but it's been sort of trimmed down to this interesting little bit. And I really, really like this Silica design, because this is a Silica that looks like almost corruption, but not completely corrupted, you know?
And then we get this really, really cool splash panel of Silica and Synergy combining to form one. Soon. Are you ready for the greatest show of your lives?
And on stage comes Gem and the Holograms, and their very special guest, the Misfits.
The dead Misfits.
And they start playing together in something that feels very reminiscent of the Dark Gem finale.
Elise is watching on a tablet. I can't tell if she's horrified or amazed.
Eric is like, what is happening? Synergy, where are you?
Pizzazz whispers over to Gem, are we doing this? And now's the time, don't you think? Gem heads backstage and talks to alternate universe Stormer, and then Gem says, show's over, Synergy.
Turns back into Jerrica in the jumpsuit, goes back out there.
And the crowd starts screaming for Gem.
Yeah, it's sort of this overpowering, terrifying thing for Jerrica.
Hello, people of Gem World, she begins.
She actually calls it Gem World, and then does this really, really long speech about how holograms can be good, but if too much, they bad.
and we have to be ourselves, and being yourself is the most important thing.
And then she turns into, like, Rock Jerrica?
It's like the midway point between Jem and Jerrica.
With some really amazing shoes.
The important thing is that she has really long blonde hair here. And she says, only through knowing ourselves and controlling our own lives can we change and grow, evolve to become our best selves.
That's like a line right out of the cartoon.
Yeah, it absolutely is. I love it. Except this is very clearly, especially by the blonde hair, this is Jerrica. This is Jerrica in front of the crowd. This is not Jem. This is her. This is her marrying the two parts of her life together, and I'm really excited about this.
And that's the end of the issue. To be concluded.
That's where we're stopping right now. There's a whole lot of stuff to come. There's an Ashcan preview that we're not going to cover because that's not fun. And we are just about done with Jem Infinite here.
Jem and the Holograms, Infinite number 3,
You killed me, Smalls.
Jem Infinite Part 5.
So the Jem Jam comes out every Sunday on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, and YouTube. You can also find us on Twitter and Tumblr. We are at the Jem Jam just about everywhere except on Twitter. We are at Jem Jam Cast. Join us next time for Jem Infinite Part 6, where we'll wrap up this crossover before we'll start getting into the next thing for the Jem comic. Until next time, dear listeners, I'm Annie.
I'm Kit.
And I'm Mac.
And this has been the Jem Jam, where we remind you, time is outrageous. Lunchtime, doubly so.